For the 3.5 lakh passive income, right? What's the corpus calculation like?
Most of the investments that I have made are more aggressive in nature. I want to reach financial freedom by around 35.
So what's your age now then?
I'm currently 31,
So you said you made like 5 crores.
sort of nearing the 5 CR mark. A lot of the heavy lifting towards that 10 CR mark will be driven by the investments that I already have, even if I don't put anything in right now. The concept of you only live once and like seize the day, I think it's a bad advice overall, right? Today you can make SIP investments from 500 rupees, but let's be honest, nothing's going to happen.
You made like 5 crores in 6 years, right? So that's a really short span.
One of the habits that I have had, which has saved me from a lot of financial troubles, is
You have a passive income goal of 3.5 lakh per month. Tell us, how did you set that number, right? Because it just doesn't pop in your head. How did you set that number?
it's a somewhat arbitrary goal, I would say. The primary reason being that one of the things that I want to do a lot more, I still do it, but a lot more what I want to do is go ahead and travel around the world, right? So if you calculate what sort of number, I did it at some point of time, it came around 3 lakhs sort of thing. The number might have changed obviously because of rupee going down, USD growing. That's how the number comes to.
Okay. For the 3.5 lakh income, passive income, right? What's the corpus calculation like?
Ultimately, you are trying to make 3.5 lakhs in a risk-free manner and risk-free post-tax, right? FDs is one. You can do some government bonds which give you 7% sort of thing. Mota you can still make about 5-6% risk-free return, right, from your corpus, right? Now if you take that 3.5 lakh multiply by 12, you get to 42 lakhs, right? 42 divided by 0.5 or 0.6, you will get somewhere around 7 CR, right? This is a calculation I did quite a while back. At that point of time, 7 CR was $1 million. By the time I think I reached 10 CR, $1 million will be equal to 10 CR. So that's how the 10 CR sort of overall corpus comes into picture. And out of that total corpus, I'm nearing the halfway mark.
Okay. You said you're halfway there with your corpus journey. Can you tell us a little bit about your investment journey till then?
Let me start from the beginning, right? So my first job was at a company called Honeywell.
Okay.
At Honeywell, my salary was 9 lakhs. I think post Honeywell, I joined a startup.
At Honeywell, did you start investing at that time?
No, it was, I started investing only for tax saving purposes, right? 1.5 lakh in PPF, ELSS, right? Okay. Pre 2019, I didn't start investing at all, right? My salary was more or less stagnant. I would say I joined a startup post Honeywell. It was paying about 12-13 lakhs, right? It stayed there for 2 years around. And then I took a, jump into entrepreneurship where the salary was 0, right? All of these years, I was just doing tax saving investments. And during my entrepreneurship days, I didn't even do that. I think the journey starts when I get into this company called Better Place back in 2019. My salary would be somewhere around 2023 types. This is when I start investing my SIP, like I start doing SIPs, right?
How much was the SIP then?
SIP would be somewhere around 1 lakh if I'm not wrong.
So you started off with 1 lakh SIP?
Yes, I started off with 1 lakh, maybe not 1 lakh, 80,000 to 1 lakh sort of thing. Right, I did that, and as and when my salary has increased, right, my salary went from 20 to 30 when I switched to Meesho. In Meesho, it jumped from 30 to 36 to around 50.
When you jumped from Better Place to Meesho, what year was it?
This was 2020, just before COVID.
Okay, 2020.
Just before COVID it happened, and obviously as you start increasing salary, and with COVID, your expenses also go down, right? So you start investing a bit more as well, and whatever my money was, if something was remaining, right, I started also putting it back in.
So you had lump sum also, lump sum investments.
Some lump sum investments were there. Apart from that, always have been in SIPs, and as salary has grown, I've also grown the SIP amounts, right? I think at peak I was doing, as I said, like 70% of my money was going into investments. My current salary is somewhere around in PhonePe is somewhere around 60 lakhs.
So then when did you jump from Meesho to PhonePe? What year
So
was it?
Meesho to I joined ShareChat. ShareChat mein my salary was 60 and in PhonePe also my salary is around 60. Not exactly, but around 60. And I continue to do SIPs, and my SIP amount, if I want to call it out, would be somewhere around 2.5 to 3 lakhs.
Right now.
Right
Okay.
now.
What does your asset allocation look like?
So my current asset allocation, if we leave aside the ESOPs, right, about 60% will be still mutual funds, and you have diversified it across a lot of mutual funds, across small cap, mid cap, large cap. I have had momentum mutual funds as well, and Nasdaq also. So across a lot of different areas. Then I think about 20% is in direct stocks. You have somewhere around 10% in crypto, and the rest of it is in various instruments like you have cash, you have fixed deposit, some bonds here and there, NPS, PPF, these are the things which are there.
You said you had ESOPs, right? Tell us a little bit more about it.
So ESOPs are basically unlisted shares, right? You have a company which has shares, but it is unlisted, so nobody can freely trade it, right? It's risky also because you don't know whether the company will make it to the IPO, whether it will have some buyback or not. The way to make money from ESOPs is one, you have to first receive it, right? I have had one scenario in one of the companies that I've worked where on paper I have received ESOPs, but I don't have any documentation of it, and I never received any documentation of it. So ensure that you have proper documentation whenever you're receiving ESOPs, and also don't consider ESOPs as part of your wholesome compensation.
What about insurance?
I have life insurance. I have health insurance. I have health insurance for myself. I have health insurance for my family. So you have to have a good quality insurance for yourself, but also for your parents, because one bad medical scenario can wipe out a lot of your savings, right?
You said you're halfway there with your Corpus journey. So what's your plan for 5 crores to 10 crores?
One of the goals that I have is that I want to reach this financial freedom is number that I want to call it by around 35-ish, right?
So what's your age now then?
I'm currently 31. So I have about 3.5-ish years, right? A lot of the heavy lifting towards that 10 CR mark will be driven by the investments that I already have, even if I don't put anything in right now, right? One of the assumption is that the corpus currently will be able to grow to about 8 CR types, right? Assuming that most of the investments that I have made are more aggressive in nature, and the rest of it would come from whatever work that I do from now till then, right? I don't plan to be jobless or take a break between that. So the plan is to kind of ensure you work, and a lot of the money that will be coming in, right, plus ESOPs that you have in current organization and future will contribute towards the rest of the shortfall of 2 CR.
You made 5 crores in 6 years, right? So that's a really short span of time. So was there any difference in your lifestyle? Anything that you changed?
Not really. In a sense, the two things which contributed to having this massive change was one, I was able to kind of increase my salary a lot, right? It was also a boom period for the tech industry in general. The other thing which happened was that I didn't really inflate my lifestyle, choices, right? It's because of the fact that I am earning well, right? It's not like I will go ahead and just do random luxury vacations on the Bahamas or something like that, right? I would much rather take the cheaper vacations now rather than take the expensive vacations now, and maybe keep the expensive vacations for more slow travel and for later, right? That was one thing. The other thing is one of the conscious choices that I've had is not owning real estate, one, right? And also I don't own a car today. I live in a rented house.
Okay.
Right. My family has a house in village. Right. But I don't have a real estate investment or a house in Bangalore. Right. The primary reason being that I don't know where I will end up if I don't have a job. Right. Will it be in Bangalore? Maybe not. Right. The weather is nice, but the traffic is worse. So you never know where you will end up. So now I spend a lot of my money on like things which give me joy. Right. One is house, a nice house with a balcony with a green view. I stay in a society which has a huge amount of green cover, right? Which comes at a premium and which is also, away from where you work. But those are things which give you joy, right? I also spend on fitness, good nutrition, eating clean, healthy food, non-junk, homemade food. So those are the things I spend time on. I also spend time on gym equipments or, sports equipments, shoes, tennis rackets. I play tennis regularly. So those are the things which I feel give me a lot of joy. And I don't think too much about spending on those aspects. Right? Just recently, I bought a, I think 6,000-7,000 racket, tennis racket. I would not spend this much on random things. Right. But I'm okay to spend that much on sports equipments.
You're aware of the concept of you only live once, right?
Yes.
So people also say, you have all the money. Why don't I live today rather than save and then, wait till like say 5 more years or 10 more years and then spend the money.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
The concept of YOLO or like you only live once and like seize the day and do sort of things, right? I think it's a bad advice overall, right? I think you don't live your life in one day. Right? You always have another day to look forward to, right? Right. So the way I approach my life is that I have a long time to live, right? Life बहुत लंबी है. It's not that tomorrow it's going to end, right? Yeah. In terms of taking micro breaks, I think that works for people. It's just that I want to operate in a bit more different way.
You're more positive.
I more want to kind of maybe I want to reach a certain place because I have the health, mental agility, all of these, and I want to reach a certain place before, doing that sort of thing. Unless I'm like completely burnt out and stuff like that, which I am not currently, right?
So what are your plans for retirement?
I still don't know, to be very honest. I know that I'm not a person who can just sit in a beach, sip pina colada all day long, right? Or not do anything, right? I still want my brains to be stimulated. So I definitely see myself doing something, right? For me, financial freedom is about ensuring that I am able to take control of my time, right? I am able to choose, right? I'm able to choose what I want.
What is your advice for people who want to be financially independent?
For different people, financial freedom or financial independence can mean very different, right? It depends a lot on your aspirations. It depends a lot on where you want to become, right? If I didn't have this aspiration of traveling the world and everything, the current corpus works. Like, it works really, really well, right? I think with the corpus that I have, I would be able to live a decent life in a tier 2 city, free from worries and all those sort of things, right? The other thing is that focus a lot more on increasing your income. You need to ensure that your corpus is at least 5 times of your salary. Unless you have that sort of place, you're not in that sort of place, it's not worth optimizing for an extra 2%, 3% return. You will be much better suited in just putting money in something and ensuring you're more focused on improving your income. That's what my advice would be.
Thank you, Ripan, for doing this podcast with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.